So yesterday we saw creating VPC from AWS console. Today we'll be looking at how to create the VPC components from Terraform. The first thing what is required for creating a VPC is you need to know your provider, you need to know your region in which you are going to create it. So you have to know the provider. You should keep the provider here. Access key and secret key that I am mentioning here is not required because you have it in the .aws folder that I can remove it now. Normally, say for example, you remember seeing this, right? .aws/credentials file. This file is required. This configuration information is required for you to connect from Terraform. When you run Terraform, it will automatically go and see this credentials and try to log into AWS. How Terraform works? Access key and secret key it uses, and then it connects to AWS account and then creates a resource for you. So I'm going back to main.tf file. Then we are supposed to create private key file, private key, public key. You remember creating private key from AWS console? You just go and click on create private key. Say if you go to EC2, if you go to key pairs, you can simply say create a new key. What it will do? It will create a public key and private key. Public key will keep it within AWS account. Private key, you will download it. Say if I click on this one, say new, or say everything I make it default. Okay. Once I click create, it will automatically download and keep it for me. You see this, right? That is my public key. Public key, private key. Okay, where is public key? Within AWS account. What will happen to the public key? When you create a EC2 instance, it will copy that public key to the server. So, say for example, you are creating EC2 instance. You are creating a EC2 instance. Say for example, you are saying large instances. You remember this option? What is this? Select the key pair. When you select this key pair, say newly created key pair, right? If I select this key pair, automatically this public key will be copied to this instance. Which location? Look, remote system. Which location? SSH folder, authorized keys file. If you go back and listen to the video that we saw initial 2 days or 3 days, you will understand. What is the location? .ssh folder, authorized keys file. So it will be like this. You can, once you log into the remote machine, you can see .ssh/authorized keys. This location, you can see the public key of that public key private key association. How does public key and private key works for authentication? Private key is on the local machine, public key on the remote machine. It does a connection. It does a handshake. What does it do? It will send a hello message, and public key will send a hello message. Private key will decrypt it and try to see whether what is the message. He will say again hello. If both are matching, then only the connection will succeed. If there is any problem with respect to communication, then the connection will not succeed. That's why you should have a same public key and private key everywhere, both places. So if you have a private key, one private key here, the other public key over there, it will not work. Associated public key should be there in the remote machine. Now going back to main.tf. So that one, the same exact stuff we are creating from Terraform. First one is say TLS private key RSA, that what we selected just now from the console. the same thing. And then we are saying what is a key name. Say resources key pair that we are creating, and then saying key name. Key name is nothing but we just gave right new. While creating, this is while creating the EC2 instance, while creating the new key pair, we said what is a key name. That is what we are saying where.key name. Where.key name we have it in variables.tf. Say variable key underscore name we have. This same key we are using there. Key name is EC2-VPC. You can see that where.key name. And then we are saying we are calling one module. I mean, say this resource TLS private key dot public key OpenSSH is a module within OpenSSH package. You just try to understand. It is difficult for you to completely getting the correct concept. But whatever we are doing from the console, we are doing it from command line through Terraform. See, then we are copying the private key. Say content as TLS private key underscore pem. That format that we are choosing, right? While creating the AWS key pair. I'll delete this key. I don't need this. Say while creating the new key pair, what options you are saying? RSA, correct? And then you see .pem file. You are downloading the .pem file. That is what it is. .pem file downloading from the local machine. You are connecting to AWS, creating the key and downloading the key from your command line. You're not going to console for anything. You're putting the key over there and then coming back to your git bash, downloading the key. And then the next step is create VPC. You just need to say what is the CIDR block. This is again coming from variables.tf. I'll show you the variables.tf file from other. Say for example, in this we don't have. So we have a VPC CIDR /16. That is what var.vpc CIDR. Every variable is called with var dot that variable name. Okay. Var dot tags means what is the tag that is given for that. So you have a variable tags. In that we have multiple this environment production, node and terraform like that we have. That will be added to the particular resource. That tag will be added to the particular resource. The rest everything you have a public subnet. Public subnet which is connected to the internet directly. Private subnet which is within the network. It is connected via NAT gateway. So that concept you should have little understanding. So we are creating two public subnets. What is that? Two public subnets. Public connected to direct internet gateway. That is nothing router in VPC. The internet router in the VPC is called internet gateway. Public subnet is connected to internet gateway. Okay, public subnet is connected to internet gateway. Internet gateway is nothing but your router, internet router. Now, normally use in your home, right? Airtel router or something like that. The same router is used. Similar router is used in AWS. That is called internet gateway. What is gateway? It's like a gate where you just say allowed or denied. You can ask people to go through this one. That's all. That's a gateway. Internet gateway means that's a gateway for the internet. Gate for the internet. So that's why we are creating internet gateway here. For the default VPC, internet gateway will be associated by default. But for the custom VPC that we are creating, we have to create and assign the internet gateway. The internet gateway resource is AWS underscore internet underscore gateway. Okay. Then you have a route table. Route table is all about who is allowed to connect to the internet. That is, any IP address is allowed. Site a block to from any IP address, you can connect to the internet. What is the gateway ID? Say exactly this resource, AWS underscore internet gateway. You see here, okay? You see here, AWS underscore internet gateway dot inet gateway dot ID. That is the ID of the internet gateway that is getting created in Terraform. See, you are creating resource in Terraform in AWS account. That resource you are referring again inside your route table. Route table you have to associate your internet gateway. Then only your subnet will become public subnet. See, this route table will be put it in the see here route table association. Route table association 1, AWS public subnet ID, and then your route table ID. Route table that you are creating, right? AWS route table, public subnet route table, this ID. See, public route table, table ID. This and this are same. See this, the same resource we are calling it here. See, line number 57 and 64. Just try to read. Line number 57. Can you read? Route underscore table underscore association, and then route associate 1. Right? Just read line number 64. Dot ID. So that is your route table ID. So here, this is your route table ID. You are creating association for public subnet 1 and public subnet 2. For both you are creating. But you are using only one route table. That is AWS route table, public route table .id. How many subnets we are creating? 2 public subnets we are creating. That's why we can see that the public 1 and public 2. So then we are creating security group. You already know what is security group, right? Any doubts? Tarun, what is security group? Time is over. Oh, 8:06. Okay. We can go down. We can go to this room. Some people are will go down. That's okay. Will not disturb them. Is there a remote? It's not disconnected, right? Okay. Is okay. This is better. So from line number 67, just closely look at it. What are we creating? What is the way to create a resource? What is the way to create a resource in AWS using Terraform? What is the first thing that you need to say? Resource. Resource. And then what is the next thing? What is your resource name? Is it VPC? Then what is that? AWS underscore VPC. If it is a security group, AWS security underscore group. Okay. If it is subnet, underscore subnet. See, you just take a look at this once again, you will understand. You see it. See, we did not even, we just thought it is correct, right? AWS underscore subnet is correct. Like that, if you want to create an instance, EC2, what is a AWS underscore instance? Okay, like that only it is very easy. See, you just need to map what you have, what you need to create. Okay, like that, if you do it, you can easily understand how to write it. But only important thing is what and all is required. For example, you simply think about it. Somebody says cooking biryani is easy, right? Will you say cooking biryani is easy? So many ingredients required, so many preparation required, proper washing is required, proper cutting is required, proper frying is required, everything is required. So like that, if you want to create a subnet, what is required? VPC ID is required, cited block is required, availability zone is required. All of these things you will understand only when you create it from AWS console. AWS console also they have simplified it everything. You just by a click of a button you can create a subnet. But you need to understand what is required for creating a subnet. Yesterday I explained you what is subnet. Subnet is all about splitting into 4 different parts, 6 different parts. Say in your network, in your organization, how many different teams you will have? At least 2 to 3 different teams. Testing team, development team, operations team, DevOps team, release team. Like that, some different teams will be there. For everybody, you should create a different subnet. You should say some team may be very big. For them, you can associate big IP addresses. I mean, more than 40, 50 IP addresses out of whatever you have. That is what is subnetting concept. So if I go up, you can try to understand how to create a VPC. Just AWS underscore VPC resource AWS underscore VPC main underscore VPC is our name, whatever name that we feel we are just giving there. Okay, that is our name. What is security group, Tarun? Well, good. Okay, we are just trying to restrict the traffic which is going inside and coming outside the internet network. That is nothing but our VPC. For the VPC, for the particular resource also we can restrict. EC2 we can restrict. What is meant by 80 and 2 port 8080? From 80 till 8080, the port is open. That's what it means. So here from port 22 to 22. That means only port 22 is open. What is protocol -1? What is from port 0 to port 0? What is this? All. All ports are allowed. That's what is 0 to 0. -1 is all protocol. With that, we are going and then creating. What is that? What is the next thing that we are creating? No. What is the AWS instance? What is required for creating AWS instance?
Subnet ID, key name, security group, user data, group block device, tags, count.
Correct. Yeah. So instance count is not important. Instance count is all about how many instances that you want to create. If you put 10 instances will be created for you. Like that. That is what is the beauty of Terraform. Even from console, you can say that nowadays there is an option. When you create a EC2 instance, it will say how many instances you want. That is also available. Like that, you can create it from Terraform also. Just mention 100 instances will be created for you within no time. The first one is AMI ID. AMI ID is all about what is the ISO image it is going to use. What is the software operating system ISO image it is going to use. That is what is AMI ID. Second one is instance type. What is instance type? T2.micro, T3.medium. About the configuration. Correct. Third one is subnet ID. What subnet you are going to create? Is it a public subnet or is it a private subnet? Like that. Then you have a key name. Key name is what? Key that we generated. That the key name we should keep it. Because we are using the same key, right? Where.key name. That key that we are creating before. See, if you look at above, you are creating a key. You're creating a key. Where.key name. AWS key pair you are creating, right? The same where.key name, we are using it inside the instance creation. Just to make sure we are using the same key. Whatever we are creating, we are using the same key while creating the instance. That's the only thing. You see that where.key name, right? Okay, security group also AWS underscore security group dot SSH underscore HTTP dot ID. The security group that we are creating, his name is SSH underscore HTTP. You see just above, you'll understand. The name of the security group. What is it? Line number 68. Right? You can understand SSH underscore HTTP. So that's how we are trying to reference and then create the resources. We are just creating only two instances. One is Ubuntu, another one is Amazon Linux. Two instances that we are trying to create. We can create only one resource. It depends what we want to create. In the variables.tf, I just want to make sure I have it opened here. The volume size should be 16. I don't want to create a resource like use big resources and instance count 1. And I don't want to have t3.video. I want to have only t2.micro. This AMI ID is not correct at this point, but we can go ahead and then create easy instance like this. Otherwise, I'll just make sure I copy the AMI ID from the correct one. This AMI ID is correct. So we are trying to replace the variable value for the Ubuntu and then this instance. We have backend.tf process location VPC subnet EC2. We'll move backend.tf because backend.tf is not required for now. I can run terraform plan to create VPC in my account. Consistent dependency log file. Point?
Yes.
What time?
Like 8 to 9.
8 to 9. Oh. If instructor comes, I mean tutor comes, I'll look at the class. Yeah. So I have some dependency log file. When I get this, oh, I run Terraform plan. I thought I ran Terraform minute. I was thinking why it is not working. The first command that I need to run is Terraform minute. Then only it will create all the required plugins. First time it will take some time to create the plugins, provide all the plugins, create the provider plugins and everything. After that it will be fast. I'll give you instructions how to copy files, from where to copy the files, and then how to run the script. Do one thing right away, you can do it. You can do a gate pull from your all docs DevOps. You guys have the all docs DevOps, right?
Yes,
Yeah. You have a class. Okay. Okay. I'll share you the instructions. You can do it easily. That's come here. Okay, laptop. PWD, go to explore DevOps. Go to explore DevOps. Do a git pull. So git pull is to update the agreement. Node repository.
Git pull.
Git pull. What is it? Is it an error? Oh, it's all code. If you just do a git pull once again, it should show. Your you correct this. I think that's this guidance.
I here connected. I don't know the password.
Scholar, yes, capital. LS